someone asked specifically about that, technical artist.
Oh.
Are you a technical artist or a technical designer?
Tech designer, yeah.
Okay.
So from what
What
I
does that
know,
mean?
okay, so a tech designer is basically kind of they bridge the gap between programming and design. So what I do is I'm in all the design meetings and things like that, but usually I'm the one who's deciphering all of the designs and thinking of what the designers want. Sometimes I get to come up with the designs myself as well, but we think more about pipeline and performance and the systems that we already have in place, and we need to have a bit of a more of a wide understanding of how things work and how they affect one another within the game to make sure it doesn't break. So we're often talking to programmers as well. So that's kind of like technical designers' job role, just to think more of the mechanical, technical sides of a game's mechanics and designs. Like, is it feasible, and how can it be implemented?
Are you doing some of the implementation?
Yeah.
Okay. So to give like kind of an analogy, then it would be like idea guy says we want giant explosions for every bullet, and programmers are like, what does that mean? Like how big explosions, small explosions, whatever, and you're in the middle.
Yeah.
They're kind of saying, okay, well, we can technically do this with our particle system, and if we do this way, we can. Is that kind of generalization of it?
Yeah, and we got to make sure that we ask the right questions. Tech designers are asking questions all the time. So we go, okay, you want the explosions, but how big do you want them? Do you need them all to be the consistent size? Like, do you want control over that? Is there a possibility they could change it in the future? X, Y,
Right.
Z. And then programmers, okay, how would you implement this? What do you need from me? And then we've got to come up with like a good system to allow the designers the control that they need to tweak it and get it right, because it's never right the first time. And then also allow the programmers to actually do their magic and put it together.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely seen scenarios where you put designers with programmers, and the programmers just get frustrated as hell, and the designers are like, the programmers don't do anything, but really it's just like there's a knowledge gap there sometimes, and it's hard for, especially like hardcore real true programmers. They think very logically, and then sometimes designers think very abstract and like, what's the best for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the programmers are like, that might be best for the game, but that's going to crash the servers. Like, so
yes.
I think it's also, and as indie developers, we get to be both, and you get to kind of have a conversation. Your designer brain talks to your programmer brain, so it's a little bit easier. But on a game team, the designer will say, okay, we need explosions. I'm not quite sure exactly because I need to see them. And the programmer will say, okay, tell me exactly what you want. Like, how on earth do I build a thing where you say, I don't know, just make some explosions? So there's a real tension there between I need to see it and iterate and feel versus tell me the thing you want me to make so I don't accidentally make the wrong thing or make it too big or make it not flexible enough. And I think that's where a lot of game teams, particularly bigger game teams, end up forcing the designer to say, write it all down in a big document, tell me exactly what you want. And so they're designing it on paper, and then the programmers are implementing it exactly as requested, and then you play it and it's kind of dull. And that's because of the system. There's not that iteration or that flow or the flexibility in it. It's really tough. It's really difficult on big game teams to give both sides what they need.